Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Rancangan kami menawarkan banyak bahasa. Sila kunjungi suprememastertv.com/katapan schedule.
Supreme Master Ching Hai gratefully present the Shining World Compassion Award to Liberation 360 plus $10,000 as a humble token of helping your work. With all love and high salute for your crucial endeavors, may you and all your fellow activists enjoy continued success and constant protection by heaven.
Specifically, we want to bring supply and demand back to agriculture. The next farm bill is voted in by 2023, but we're not going to sit around till 2023.
Continue watching to find out more.
It is my view that the vegetarian manner of living, by its purely physical effect on the human temperament, would most beneficially influence the lot of mankind. Dr. Albert Einstein, PhD, vegetarian.
Amiable viewers, my name is Daniel. With joyful hearts and smiles, the affable people of Antigua and Barbuda humbly salute all you do to encourage a green, harmonious lifestyle everywhere on our precious earth. Welcome to Vegan Batgirl, Connie Spence, Part 4 of 4. Agriculture Fairness Alliance. Intelligent viewers, last week we discovered the range of work Liberation 360, formerly Vegan Justice League, engages in. In today's program, we will focus on its sister organization, Agriculture Fairness Alliance, or AFA, does to counter the political influence of the meat and dairy industries. Agriculture Fairness Alliance is the legislation arm of Connie's activism, and these three outstanding women activists, Laura Rees, Renee King-Sonen, and Connie Spence, work together to make U.S. agriculture laws and policies fairer. Let's hear Connie tell us how the three intrepid women met.
So I founded Vegan Justice League a year ago. My co-founder actually was doing something very similar. Laura Rees worked with a group called Lobbyists for Good, which essentially teaches the public how to lobby and get involved.
The good news about federal lobbying is that on the federal level, you hire lobbyists. And all we're really doing is quarterbacking professional people that live and breathe how to change the narrative, how to get legislation passed.
Renee from Rowdy Girl Sanctuary was a rancher's wife who transitioned her farm, the cattle farm, into a sanctuary. When that happened, she started receiving inquiries from a lot of farmers who wanted to do the same thing. They needed help to get out of livestock farming and help to transition. We caught wind of it. Why not create legislation instead of throwing them bailout money? The bailout money fail anyway, and the animals end up in a stockpile. Specifically, we want to bring supply and demand back to agriculture. The next farm bill is voted in by 2023, but we're not going to sit around till 2023. Our first piece of legislation launches this week. The legislation is an at-risk farmer transition and diversification program.
Let's hear Laura introduce this legislation.
So currently we're lobbying for something called the at-risk farmer legislation, which will help animal farmers transition to plant-based farming or green energy production. And the idea is to give farmers more options and opportunities to transition to doing lower impact farming. So rather than finding better ways of doing a harmful thing, which is animal agriculture, let's switch them all together over to plant-based farming. And there's so much opportunity there with the rise of the plant-based food market.
This legislation is the first piece of the jigsaw puzzle to align food policies with health and environment protection. It is not only a value-driven federal food procurement of healthy food, but also supports USDA climate-smart agriculture policy. It has been warmly embraced by many farmers and vegans, including Jane Velez Mitchell from Jane Unchained News. The livestock raising business pays $18 million a year on lobbying the government to support policies which award them over $52 billion in subsidies and bailouts, giving them a return on investment of over 2,500%. If supported by 1/10 of the estimated 4 in 10 million vegans currently in the United States, the lobbying budget could be matched by the vegan movement. The AFA aims to make this a reality.
If 10% of American vegans gave just $10 a month to us and maybe some other lobbying groups too, and we all coordinated, we would out-influence big animal ag.
However, it could also work by getting one additional lobbyist at a time. If 50 champions pledge to commit $200 per month like Jane Velez Mitchell did. The AFA posted on Facebook that in 2020, farm subsidies disproportionately favored livestock feed, beef, dairy, and pork production. AFA is lobbying to level the playing field in subsidies and help farmers who want to transition to growing plant-based crops. Connie explains further.
The legislation that we were pitching over the last 2 years to get a sponsor was basically a farm transition program where our taxes gave farmers the opportunity to choose to get out of livestock farming, and that our taxes would incentivize them by helping them transition to plant-based regenerative or regenerative adjacent farming.
Vegan, leave for heaven with a bang.
Attentive viewers, we'll be back after this short message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program. Lobbying, however, isn't easy, but the project appears to be gaining momentum.
We were up against the livestock industry, like making their way and getting everything they wanted. And then with the pandemic, everybody's focus turned into bailing them out, right? So it was really hard to be a lobbyist on our side at that time because you weren't able to have live meetings in DC. You were having to now try to get on people's radar through Zoom calls and over the phone. The success is that the conversations that we've had just in the last couple of months have proven that it's very likely that our legislation will get inserted into a broader environmental piece of legislation.
We asked Connie if the vegan or vegetarian members in Congress or in the House actually provided any input to AFA's work, and she shared with us a lesson learned from a mistake they made earlier on.
Our first lobbyist was very much one that had a lot of with what you would call people that were more environmental and more either vegan or perhaps on those and that type of path. We've since learned that we have to bridge and make sure our legislation and relationships like cover the spectrum. We have relationships with those politicians. We don't want to get like stuck in just being considered, this liberal leaning vegan legislation because it won't get passed.
The AFA has currently one lobbyist doing an amazing job and getting a great reception, but it needs more.
We actually are hoping to get sponsorship via someone that doesn't get lodged into one partisan side. Could that shift in a year if we go from having one lobbyist to 5? Absolutely, because then you have 5 people that can create relationships in a different way. And that's necessary. That's actually a necessary goal of scaling. You need to be able to have enough lobbyists so that you can play offense with new legislation and defense. With all of the dairy industries and the livestock industries legislation, you have to play defense to the narrative there as well.
Sensible viewers, now let us find out what each and every one of us can do to help Connie's organization fight for the liberation of animal co-citizens and a vegan world.
So we have one lobbyist now. As mentioned, we pay for that lobbyist with members' fees. We hope to grow that as more members come in. So you can become a member at agriculturefairnessalliance.org. So becoming a member, helping us continue to educate, and if you're in a socioeconomic condition that you can't donate, networking and sharing our stuff is super important. Lobbying on the state level is something you can actually personally go do. If you like speaking in public and you want your voice to be heard, why does it have to be on the street all the time? Why not plan people to go to lobby local districts and other platforms that give the community the opportunity to? So on the local and state level, you can get involved and speak the same way you speak to people in activism, getting laws changed. If you have the time and you have the will to, speak in public and speak at some of these city council meetings, do it. And if you have the desire that you think you would actually be a great person to run, do that. Part of me thinks that maybe someday I might run for a seat somewhere. I'm one of those people that doesn't have a lot of time because I have a full-time job too. But if I had more time, I absolutely would love to start changing policy.
Go for it, Connie. We are behind you all of the way. We certainly need ethical vegan politicians in the US Capitol who are for the people and the animal co-citizens, who can change the agriculture policies and laws for world justice and peace. Being a vegan is not enough. Let us first go vegan, then become activists, engage politically, and make veganism's values the world standard. We thank the energetic and knowledgeable Connie Spence, Laura Rees, and Renee King Sonnen for their tireless and courageous endeavors to reform the US food system. We salute your efforts and wish that your at-risk farmer transition and diversity legislation will find enthusiastic sponsors and be passed soon. To find out more about Connie Spence, please visit instagram.com/vegan_Batgirl. Website agriculturefairnessalliance.org, liberation360.org, veganjusticeleague.com. Supreme Master Qinghai gratefully present the Shining World Compassion Award to Liberation 360 plus $10,000 as a humble token of helping your work with all love and high salute for your critical endeavors. May you and all your fellow activists enjoy continued success and constant protection by heaven. Supreme Master Qinghai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy, and or any good cause over the years as a humble vessel for his compassion and love towards his precious children.
Vegan, because we have to be purified again.
Compassionate viewers, thank you for your company today. Coming up next is Heaven Does Not Accept the Killing of the Unborn, Part 3 of 8, on Between Master and Disciples, right after Noteworthy News. May love, justice, peace, and freedom be orchestrated into an all-pervasive heavenly melody, nourishing the soul of every being.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VEG.